everybody, so stuff is getting a little weird with Super Smash Bros. This week. There's some odd stuff that happened, so let's go over it all. First odd thing is that Sakurai is now a 51-year-old man, and doesn't look it at all. Okay, I'm just kidding. But yes, this week was Sakurai's birthday, so happy birthday, Sakurai. No, the first weird thing that happened involving Super Smash Bros. Is actually about Mario Golf Super Rush. It was announced today that it's getting new free DLC, with Toadette becoming a playable character and New Donk City as a new course. Pretty cool, and I'm glad to see this game is getting updates. Although I do have a bit of an issue with random free DLC drops. Basically, a game can come out and feel somewhat unfinished or lacking in some way, but it gets regular DLC updates for free, so by the end the game feels complete, and honestly, the DLC updates keep you coming back to the game. Whereas if you got everything with the game up front, maybe you would only play the game that first week or so, and then stop. So the DLC updates are actually helpful, keeping you involved with the game. So what's the issue here? Well, my issue is that there's no promise of free DLC updates. For example, Mario Tennis Aces came out and felt a bit lacking. But then we got a lot of updates and they really filled out the game nicely by the end. It's a very solid, great Mario Tennis game now. Conversely, Super Mario Party came out with very few stages and felt a bit lacking. And it never got any more. It feels like a very barren Mario Party game compared to many other entries in that series. We now have Mario Party Superstars coming out, and while I'm excited for that game, I feel a bit burned on buying Super Mario Party. Couldn't we have gotten the old N64 stages and mini-games that are going to be in Mario Party Superstars as free DLC updates over time for Super Mario Party instead of getting like a whole new game to buy? Basically, I just feel kind of burnt on buying Super Mario Party. And that's the issue here. Without the promise of DLC updates, Nintendo can release games that feel a bit empty. And then we buy them assuming, like Mario Tennis Aces or now Mario Golf Super Rush, we might get free DLC updates that will fix the emptiness of the game. And if a somewhat empty game does get free DLC updates, then by the end the game will be great. But because there's no guarantee of that, you might buy a game hopeful it's going to be bigger by the end, and then nope, you got Super Mario Party. The game's pretty empty. That's all it's ever going to be. It's essentially up to Nintendo which games they want to support with free DLC updates. And that could be based on sales numbers or the number of people still playing the game and stuff like that. It just kind of stinks you could get baited into buying a game that you maybe wouldn't have bought because it looks a little empty to you and just hope that free DLC will come. And maybe it will, but maybe it won't. It's kind of lame that you could get tricked into buying a game, essentially, because other games are getting free DLC. I just wish Nintendo at least was upfront about which games would get this free DLC, than which games might not. But again, Nintendo probably wants to choose which games they give DLC for, which games they put that effort into based on sales numbers and stuff. And as a consumer, there's just no way to tell what that's going to look like after we buy it. Anyway, this issue is way off topic for what I want to talk about today, but figured I'd mention it anyway. Point is, I'm glad to see Mario Golf Super Rush is a game that's being supported with free DLC updates. Actually, with Toadette and New Donk City being added to Mario Golf Super Rush, we have a 4chan leak that's starting to come true, and this was posted back on the 1st. It says, characters, Toadette, Birdo, Magikoopa, Larry, Morton, Roy, Ludwig, Ninja, Iggy, Spike, Wiggler, Wendy, Lemmy, various Yoshi colors. Tournament, Golf Adventure EX, Battle Golf Courses, New Donk City, Block Fort, Observatory, Arena 3, Standard Golf Courses, Throwback 1, Throwback 2, Beach, Jungle, Mountain, 8-Bit, Solo Challenge, Cross Country Golf, Ring Shot, Pro Golf, Endless. Who knows if this 4chan leak just got lucky or if it's actually a leak, but it does start off with Toadette, and the Battle Golf Courses do start off with New Donk City, so it was right about that. We'll have to wait and see if more of this continues to come true. Okay, so moving on. In Smash Bros. News this week, we got a Mario Golf Super Rush Spirit event. I guess this probably happened this week to coincide with the game's new DLC update that, again, is also this week. But there's something rather odd about this Spirit event. And no, the odd thing here isn't that I happened to put out a Mario Golf Super Rush gameplay video earlier this week, the same week that we got a Spirit event and an update for the game. That was just a coincidence. No, the weird thing about this Spirit event is that the @SmashBrosJP Twitter account that always posts about the latest Spirit events, usually on Tuesday nights in my time zone, didn't give us a heads up about this Spirit event at all. In fact, as of the time of me filming this video, the @SmashBrosJP Twitter account still hasn't tweeted out or even mentioned the latest Mario Golf Spirit event for Smash. Actually, they haven't tweeted anything at all yet this week. So many people were a little shocked and surprised when they turned on Super Smash Bros. And suddenly had a notification for a new Spirit event that we'd been given no heads up about. Maybe they didn't tweet out the Spirit event so they wouldn't give away that the game was getting a DLC update this week, though that seems like a real stretch, as I think getting a Spirit event wouldn't have made people assume that the game was getting DLC this week. I doubt people would have jumped to that conclusion. And like I said, they still haven't tweeted out about the Spirit event at all this week, and the DLC update has already been revealed. So what's going on here? Well, something even more interesting and stranger happened in Smash News this week as well. Over on Twitter, Dilbert0 wrote me, PapaGenos, potential Smash fighter coming very soon, or at the least a tease. They've made the August Smash Direct from 2018 private in every country, apparently apart from Japan. I think this was first noticed over on Smashboards by Epic Martin 7. They wrote, "What the heck? The 8/8/2018 Smash Direct just disappeared off of YouTube. Tried to search for it, it's gone weirdly. Seems it was privated. It even disappeared from my personal YouTube playlist, which, due to note, is poorly maintained for update stuff, so don't be surprised if stuff past Steve isn't in there. One unavailable video is hidden," and they show some links. Here's a link to Nintendo's YouTube channel with the search results. Doesn't seem to appear in the results. They went on to say, another update. Seems like Nintendo's UK version is gone too, although Nintendo JP is still up. And eventually it was noticed that it had been privated off of all regions, except for Japan. This is true, I checked it for myself, and yeah, the video is gone for some reason. And even stranger, people noticed Australia has completely deleted the video, not just simply made the video private like the other regions have. So this is the 8/8/18 Direct we're talking about, the one we got Simon Belmont and K. Rool revealed to us. Honestly, that Direct might be the absolute high point of Smash Ultimate hype. It delivered more than I think anyone expected so soon after E3 that year, and we were told not much more would be happening for the game. Yet that Direct gave us like 5 newcomers. And of course, the really strange thing about that video being privated now is that August 8th is this weekend. It's Sunday. So a little odd, a Smash Direct that's anniversary is coming up this weekend has suddenly been cleared off Nintendo's YouTube channels. The timing here is certainly suspicious. Also, of course, we have the oddity of @SmashBrosJP on Twitter not tweeting about the Spirit event for this week, like they usually do. So what the heck is going on here? There was this theory that it might have to do with some changes recently that YouTube made where older, unlisted videos became privated across the board. However, there's problems with this theory. First off, this is the only video Nintendo has that has disappeared. So if YouTube started privating old videos, why would this one and only this one get hit? Plus, it doesn't explain at all why the Australian Nintendo YouTube channel completely deleted the video. I also looked into this new YouTube change, and it was privating unlisted videos from before January 1st, 2017. Not videos before 2020 like we first thought. And of course, the 8/8/18 Smash Direct was obviously after 2017. Plus, there were ways of avoiding having unlisted old YouTube videos become private. This was only really going to affect unactive channels that didn't notice YouTube doing this change. And I'm sure Nintendo's YouTube has someone whose entire job is to run the channel and would be well aware of such a change happening to YouTube's policies, and they would have taken the steps to avoid having Nintendo's old videos become privated. And again, it's only this one video in several different regions, besides Japan for some reason, so a massive unlisted video or privated videos change would have hit lots of videos, not just this same one in many different regions. One other explanation I've heard some people suggest is that maybe this has to do with the Tokyo Olympics closing ceremonies that are happening this weekend on August 8th. The opening to the Tokyo Olympics actually had a lot of video game music in it. Supposedly Nintendo was originally going to have songs playing there as well, but pulled out at the last minute. There's a lot of controversy and mixed feelings in Japan right now about hosting the Olympics during the pandemic. So Nintendo likely decided they didn't want to seemingly show support for holding the Olympics during this time. Anyway, since there was video game music at the start of the Olympics, maybe there will be more video game music at the closing ceremonies. And maybe some of that music could have been part of the 8/8/18 Smash Direct. So it got hit by YouTube and privated somehow. I doubt it would be any Nintendo music as they pulled out of the opening ceremony, but we have Castlevania in that Direct, and that's Konami. So potentially, Konami maybe gave the okay to use Castlevania music at the Olympics. I don't know if that's actually going to happen, it's just a theory. And that theory really doesn't explain why the Japanese Direct is still online. You'd think that would be the first one to get privated if this had to do with the Tokyo Olympics. Or why Australia straight up deleted their 8/8/18 Direct video. It feels like removing this Smash Direct was done intentionally, especially Australia deleting their version. Well, with those potential explanations out of the way, let's go over the really out there conspiracy theory. It's summed up pretty well by this 4chan post. Nintendo just erased all Smash August Directs from YouTube except the Japanese one. Nintendo also recently modified its Smash Directs list and added 2 videos. What does it mean? The next Smash Direct is this Sunday on the 8th of August. It's a Sunday. We never get Directs on Sunday. False. Actually, Smash is the exception, as we already got Smash Directs on Sunday for Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS. But wouldn't they have announced a Direct already? Usually they do so 2 days before a Direct, which means they'll announce it on Friday. So obviously that's a really out there theory and probably reading too much into all of this. But there is some merit to think something strange could be happening here soon. Maybe privating the 8/8/18 Smash Direct is just temporary because a different Smash Direct is taking place on the same date. If there really was a Smash Direct this weekend, it could make sense to private the old Direct on the same date to avoid causing any confusion between the 2 Directs. However, there are some issues with thinking a Smash Direct will happen this weekend. First one is August 8th is a Sunday. We usually only get Directs on weekdays. Although Smash Bros. Has actually been the exception to this rule. The Super Smash Bros. New content approaching 6/14/15 video, the one where we got Roy and Lucas DLC revealed for Smash Wii U and 3DS, plus Ryu revealed as a newcomer DLC for Smash Wii U and 3DS, was in fact on a Sunday. June 14th, 2015 was Sunday. And Japan is in a different time zone than those of us in the West. So potentially a Monday Direct for them could be a Sunday Direct for us, mattering to when exactly the Direct happened. So could we actually be getting a Smash Direct this weekend? Could the reason the Smash Bros. JP Twitter account hasn't tweeted anything actually be because they're saving their tweets this week and gearing up to announce a Direct? Could the 8/8/18 Smash Direct have been privated and deleted off of some of these YouTube channels to avoid confusion between 2 Smash Directs taking place on the same date but different years? Maybe. Personally, my biggest issue is that it feels way too early for a Smash Direct. We just got Kazuya at E3, and Sakurai said it'll be a while before they announce Challenger Pack 11. I spent most of my After Kazuya video going over how long I think the wait might be for Challenger Pack 11. And my assumption, after what Sakurai said, was that it could potentially not happen until the end of the year, on like the anniversary of Smash Ultimate itself, or maybe at the Game Awards where the DLC all started. And both of those would be in December. December was the time frame we were initially given that the second Fighter Pass would end by. And Sakurai even mentioned that Challenger Pack 11 would be revealed before the end of the year as planned. He specified the end of the year. To even mention the end of the year and that we might have to be patient makes me think, at the very least, August is way too soon to be expecting Challenger Pack 11. September feels like the absolute earliest in my opinion, and with what Sakurai said in that statement, I'm thinking it'll be even later than the time frame of September myself. However, all that's just when Challenger Pack 11 will be revealed. Maybe we could actually get a Smash Direct, but not reveal the final fighter yet. Seems odd to me, but hey, it's possible. Maybe a stage DLC update, or a new mode or something. We were told we'd gotten pretty much the last mode, but maybe they decided to surprise us with something else here. Small Battlefield, of course, was a surprise, and Smash has done surprising things throughout all of this DLC. Maybe some new World of Light extension is being added, some new one-player game, and they want a whole mini Smash Direct to explain it. Maybe Smash Ultimate does have a future beyond Challenger Pack 11, and they want to explain where it's heading. Though I suppose that seems like something they'd save until after Challenger Pack 11 was revealed, and not show us right now, but who knows. Anyway, all of these possibilities, getting some sort of Smash Direct at all, even if we don't get a fighter revealed, seems like really wishful thinking to me. So probably the most likely thing going on here is either 1, it's simply nothing. We're reading too much into a few oddities going on with Nintendo's YouTube channels and the Smash Bros. JP Twitter account, and it all means absolutely nothing. Or 2, there is going to be a Direct on August 8th, and the Smash Direct was privated to avoid confusion, but the Direct isn't a Smash Direct. It's like an Indie World or something. does feel about the right time frame to get an indie world. The issue with this, though, is that we usually don't get directs on Sundays. Again, Smash is the exception to that. Otherwise, it generally doesn't happen on weekends. So an indie world happening on Sunday seems a little unlikely. And it doesn't explain why the Smash Bros. JP Twitter account hasn't tweeted yet this week. But maybe it's just a weird coincidence they didn't tweet. I don't know. I suppose the actual evidence we have here, Nintendo removing the August 8th Direct and the Smash Bros. JP Twitter account not tweeting anything, does point to something Smash actually happening. But because that's so hype and so unexpected, literally going against what we've been set up for, and going against the time frame for when anyone here was really expecting to hear any Smash news, it just seems very, very hard for me to really think we'd get some big Smash news so soon. But hey, let's keep our eyes peeled and stay vigilant the next few days. I don't think we should expect anything to come of all this. I'm not personally expecting anything, but I'd be pleasantly surprised to be wrong about that. So we'll see what happens here very soon. Alright, a couple other neat Smash things I want to mention. Last time I talked about how I thought it was strange Sakurai said Nintendo making a Kazuya figure would be a little odd when he talked about the amiibo. When we already have so many amiibo of a lot of other characters from Stranger Things even less associated with Nintendo for Nintendo to make figures for. Just felt really strange to me that Sakurai specified Kazuya getting an amiibo would be odd. Well, Rob Rman X wrote me, "Hey PG, just watched your After Kazuya video. You brought up the whole it's weird for Nintendo to be making a Kazuya figure bit, and I think Sakurai said it's weird since the Bandai half of Bandai Namco is a toy company. Or at least that's one of the many things they do." I hadn't thought of that at all, but that is likely why Sakurai said this. Bandai Namco is known for making toys and figures, so Nintendo making a figure of one of their characters is odd. This likely explains what Sakurai meant when he said that. Speaking of figures, last time I mentioned how figure theory isn't just for playable fighters, and it seems the Shantae Mii costume specifically was modeled off of this figurine of her. Well, Push Dustin wrote, "For his Mii Gunner costume, Sakurai used the Fangamer figure of Sans as a reference." So it seems the Sans Mii costume was likely also modeled off of a figure of Sans. Cool that Sakurai uses figures to model characters, and seems to also do that for Mii costumes. Also over on Twitter, Paradox wrote me, "PapaGenos, to add to your points about the SMT5 protagonist being possible in Smash, I also noticed a lack of any spirits for Nocturne HD, which feels weird seeing as Nintendo was heavily marketing Nocturne HD along with SMT5. That's true, Nocturne HD was promoted fairly heavily, and yet we got no spirit event in Smash. If a Shin Megami Tensei character is the final fighter, it could make sense why a Shin Megami Tensei spirit hasn't shown up in Smash yet, and why Nocturne HD didn't get a spirit event. They might be waiting for Challenger Pack 11 to add any SMT spirits to Smash." Bubba Bite on Discord wrote me, "Thought you'd appreciate this. The final DLC character will make the starting roster a perfect square." I hadn't thought of this at all, and while I don't think the Smash team is too concerned about completely squaring off select screens, the starting roster, if you bought Smash Ultimate and all the DLC right off the bat, when this is all over, will be perfectly squared off. Of course, the original starting roster for Smash Ultimate wasn't squared off, so again, I don't think they care too much about ending Smash with clean-looking select screens in any state, either at the start of the game or at the end. I talked about Nintendo getting free DLC updates, but I never talked about new Pokemon Snap getting a free DLC update. I'm very happy to see this game getting continued support. It's a game I really hope they continue to add new areas to for a while. Personally, I'd love for them to add a spooky, abandoned, haunted mansion zone to play through. We didn't really have enough ghost Pokemon back during the original game to give them their own area to explore, but we definitely do now, and I just think that's such a cool theme. I know this game is set on generally untouched islands without any human civilization to see, but the first Pokemon Snap had the tunnel level, which had a power plant inside it for electric Pokemon. Maybe an old abandoned research center from some past professor who attempted to check out the islands could be found, and that could be the Haunted Mansion level. I don't know, it's just such a cool theme, I'd love to see it in this game. Also, I never really got a chance to talk about all of those Switch Pro rumors finally coming to fruition. Well, they kinda came to fruition. In typical Nintendo fashion, we got a shadow-dropped video on Twitter announcing a brand new version of the Nintendo Switch. I find it strange this wasn't highlighted at E3 and they waited until shortly afterwards, but oh well, that's what happened. So those rumors from Bloomberg and a lot of other people talking about it were in fact true. Sorta true anyway, as this isn't exactly the Switch Pro, the Super Switch many people were hopeful for. While this is a Switch upgrade, it seems to be the bare minimum of an upgrade. There isn't really anything beyond some quality of life changes here. It's being called the Switch OLED model as it features a 7-inch OLED screen, so slightly less bezel here and a nicer screen for handheld. I swear bezels only exist to be removed in future models of things. Anyway, the Switch OLED model, or is it the Switch OLED model? Honestly, I don't know how you say this. I haven't actually heard anyone officially pronounce it. You say LED, so I have to assume you call it OLED. But personally, since they didn't call it the new Nintendo Switch, thankfully, I like to think that they have instead decided to call it the old Nintendo Switch. OLED, old, get it? I think it's funny. Actually, calling it the same old Switch isn't really that far off, as beyond featuring a bigger screen and handheld, there isn't much else being upgraded here. They did finally decide to start using good kickstands, though. Honestly, the kickstand on the original Switch is so bad it seemed like the only reason to make such a terrible kickstand was to eventually upgrade and have that as a selling point for some future model. And here it is, we have a better kickstand. This one also has LAN support built right into the dock, but you can easily get an adapter for any Switch dock and go with wired internet connection. I already have that for my current Switch. It also has 64 gigabytes of internal storage, but once again, I already have more than that with my current Switch using a micro SD card. It's retailing for $350 and will release on October 8th alongside Metroid Dread. Frankly, this is not the upgrade I was waiting for personally, so I'll likely pass this one up and hope for a truly upgraded model to come along at some point in the future. Some people out there are still claiming one could happen later on, potentially next year in 2022, so I'll hold out hope for those rumors. If I didn't already have a Switch, or if my current Switch had some major issue and I need to replace it, I'd likely buy this OLED model. But as it stands, the most enticing selling point for me is actually that better kickstand, and that just isn't enough to buy one. Hilariously, a week after they announced the Switch old model, Valve announced this Steam Deck, which is essentially a Nintendo Switch-like handheld system for playing Steam games, basically a Switch for PC gamers. Without getting into the specifics of this one, this is much closer to the upgraded Super Switch Pro model system people were hopeful Nintendo would give us. But instead they just gave us a good kickstand. I probably won't get the Steam Deck myself, or at least I'll let other people try it out for a while first before I attempt to get my hands on one if it comes out and I end up liking it. I do generally enjoy handhelds, but the button layout here looks a little weird to me. Everything's up at the top. Seems like they're encouraging the touchpads, but I generally don't like those, so I don't know. And some buttons are seemingly on the very edge of the system. But hey, I gotta hold out judgment myself before I actually hold the thing. I doubt the production will ever grow to a high enough level that this could really compete with and kill the Nintendo Switch, but I actually like that the Switch has some competition here in the handheld market. The Switch updates are extremely slow. We still don't have Game Boy games on the NSO or anything like that. The Switch barely gets anything, really. We can't do themes and a lot of basic features I assume the Switch would have by now. And our newest Switch model, the Switch old model, is a dismal upgrade in my opinion. Basically, competition in the handheld market could make Nintendo stop dragging their feet and force them to actually entice people to buy the Switch with cool new features. As it stands right now, the Switch is doing so well, Nintendo seems pretty content to give us new features and Switch upgrades at a snail's pace. The Steam Deck did kind of take attention away from the OLED Switch model announcement, if nothing else. So again, hopefully this competitor makes Nintendo wake up and actually try and make the Switch look good and entice us to buy it instead of doing the bare minimum. Before I end this video, I just want to say there is a Friday Night Funkin' mod that has Geno, and it's awesome. As a Geno fan, this one's pretty cool to see. Also, I've been loving Neo The World Ends With You. I've barely seen it on store shelves, but I strongly recommend it if you get a chance to play it. And if you haven't played the first game, I recommend that too. The series overall is fantastic. Alright, well that's basically everything I wanted to talk about in this video. What do you guys think about the August 8th Direct being privated and deleted in Australia? Expect any Smash news this weekend, or do you think this is all just an odd coincidence? Anyway, if you guys have any thoughts or comments about any of the stuff I talked about in this video, leave them below.
Remember to like the video, leave a comment in the section below, and subscribe to PapaGenos!
Twitter, Patreon. Oh, Discord.